Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tracy, and yay! I am starting a reading vlog today. I have been watching so many reading vlogs lately, and this is actually one of my favorite videos to film. I just haven't really talked to you much about books lately, and I've had some great books I wanted to discuss with you. I just haven't taken the time. You guys, I am this close to exhaustion. I am on the verge, which means I'm probably already exhausted, but I just thought I cannot go another day the way I have been going. I've been prioritizing my apartment. I've been prioritizing, which you can't tell by the way this shelf look, and there's no pictures up on this wall, but I've been prioritizing my car. It's just been so many little irritations happening. I can't say they're problems, but quite a few irritations that have been happening over the last couple of months, and I have been trying to kind of take care of these things, and it's making me pretty tired. And I've just decided that let me take care of me this week. So I thought we would hang out for the next 7 days to see how I feel at the end of the week, and also see how many books I can get read this week. It's a really pretty day. Unfortunately, as soon as I turn the camera on, some sort of construction situation start happening outside, so you may be able to hear a little drilling in the distance. It's so nice that I wanted to open my windows and just let the day in. So my windows are up in every room. A really cool thing about this apartment is that there are literally windows in every room, including the kitchen and the bathroom. I just really love this little apartment. It needs a lot of work. It needs so much stinking work, but I just absolutely love the location of the apartment, the old school charm of the apartment. I love it here. Sound like an old school Chevy, don't it? Oh no, that's my neighbor. He's so nice. But anyway, one day I was parked in his spot, and I was like, I'm coming down in a minute. He's like, you good? Anyway, he's really sweet. I just wanted to take some time and just read and hang out with you guys this week. So I wanted to start with Execution in E by Alexia Gordon. So you would have seen this video in this book in a previous vlog. I've had this book for 21 days, and I had to extend it from the library. That's just kind of how life has been going. This book, as you can see, is not thick at all. Typically it would have taken me like a morning or an afternoon, like on a Saturday or Sunday, to read this book, but I just haven't been able to settle my mind and settle myself down for all the things that's been going on around me. You guys, this book only has 237 pages. That's all. That's it. So I started this last week, and I just remember while I was reading it last week, I was smiling so much because I absolutely love these characters, and I'm so sad that this is the last installment in this series. From what I can tell, the author may come out with something later, but for right now, it just looks like this is just 5 books in this series about Gethsemane Brown, who is a maestra in an orchestra. She's also plays like piano. I don't know if she plays any other instruments, but one of my favorite things about her is whenever she can sense danger happening, she hears Pathétique by Tchaikovsky in her head playing. And so the other day, this is the first book in the series that I physically read. So when I looked it up on YouTube to see if I could hear the song, hear the music. Is it called a song when it's all instrumental like that? I think it is, right? And so I listened to Pathétique by Tchaikovsky while I was reading quite a bit of this the other day, and it was so nice. Pathétique is a little bit ominous, as you can imagine, because she can sense death when death is going to happen if Pathétique is playing in her head. But kind of, I had it really low while I was reading this, and it was just really cool. It really helped me get into the book as well. So I was thinking about that while I was reading this book. I know a lot of times people really feel that they're supposed to be reading books that help them advance their career, or that's about the struggle of a culture, or that's about finances. Like, you really feel like, I've literally heard people say, I don't read novels, I don't read fiction, I don't read anything like that. And there is truly nothing wrong with that. I do find that lately, the way cozy mysteries have been written and how many different authors that are writing cozy mystery lately, that I'm learning so much. Like, I'm learning so much from the Tita Rosie's Kitchen series. I'm learning a lot about the Filipino culture, food, and just how they are interact as a family. And I'm learning new language. I'm learning like a Filipino language. I'm learning new words. And there is no way I would have ever come across Pathétique if I had not been reading this book. I have been loving the way cozy mysteries have been expanding my mind and, you know, my palate. I'm learning different things, and now I want to try different types of foods and things like that. So I love, is this an ode to cozy mysteries right now? Yes, it is. Why not? I have just been loving the way cozy mysteries have been written as of late. I think I've said that quite a bit, and I'm just not gonna stop saying it because I just am in love with them. So their Pathétique is playing, and here where I left off. This book has influencers in it, which is so interesting. This influencer culture is it's a trippy thing. But anyway, I am going to take some time this afternoon. I am going to set the stove for 1 hour. I'm going to set the alarm on the stove for 1 hour. And I'm going to sit here for 1 hour. I am not putting any pressure on myself to get so many pages read. I'm not putting myself in pressure to make myself a warm cup of tea when all I really just want is a glass of water. I'm not going to put my pressure on myself. I don't have a candle. I was trying to find a candle the other day. I don't have a candle right now. So I'm just not putting any pressure on myself to make sure that the background looks good. I am going to breathe and read. What? Good morning, beautiful. Happy Tuesday. We're on our way to work, and I am now thinking to myself, did I put my mascara in my bag? I don't think I did, so I am going to look like a naked mole rat today. So while we're on this very bumpy road to work, I wanted to talk about what I truly believe is my favorite book of 2023, and that is Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice to Murderers for Murderers. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto. This was so endearing to me. So this is going to be a weird review. I love the character Vera Wong. I just think, well, let me tell you a little bit about the book first. So Vera Wong is, I want to say she's in her 60s. I don't think she's in her 80s. And she's Chinese, and she lives in the Bay, San Francisco, I think. And she has a little tea shop called like Vera Wong's like world famous tea house. It's Vera Wong's world famous tea house. Even though her last name is not Wong, you learn in the book that she's capitalizing off the well-known fashion designer Vera Wang. So she is, that tells a little bit about her personality right there. She has this regimented routine that she does every single day, and that's kind of how the book starts off. It talks about how routine she is, how precise she is, and I fell in love with this book honestly from the very first paragraph. Like, I love this book. Nothing exciting happens in her life. Her husband, she's a widow, and her son doesn't like spending time with her. He finds her irritating, and he's just really kind of sick of her, and so she texts him lots and lots of times. He never texts her back. He's just like kind of doesn't want to have anything to do with her. Why are you stopping? Why are you stopping? Okay, let me get past this light. Okay. He really doesn't kind of want to have anything to do with her, and so she's very lonely. She's also very opinionated, very judgmental. So it's not like she has any friends. So she goes about her routine one day, and when she comes, she lives above her tea shop, and so when she comes downstairs, there is a dead body. And so before she calls the police, she rummages through the dead man's pockets, and so she has this flash drive, and okay, there is an armed guard and a Memphis police officer in the guard booth at work. I just had to throw that out there right quick. Anyway, so she does this, and she knows that there is something to it. There is no way that this person just ends up dead in her tea house, and so she decides to, she called the police, and she doesn't think the police are doing it right, and they're like, oh, like, I'm so sick of people who watch these crime shows thinking they know what police officers do. They really don't know. And so she decides to put like a little ad. I can't remember. I think she puts a little ad in the paper, or if people just find out where this person died and comes to the tea house. But anyway, she's like, and she starts building her list of suspects. Like I said, this is one of the most endearing books, and one of my favorite tropes in books is found family, and this book has a very strong sense of found family. And she, okay, let me park. Has a very strong sense of found family. And so she does create for herself this really great family before like her son shows up into the picture, what have you. So here's, I gave this book a high star rating, even though I'm not on Goodreads. I gave this book a solid 5 stars. Now, the book was poorly written and poorly edited. I'm not gonna say it was poorly written as much as it was poorly edited. When you're physically reading a copy of this book, you can see that the author was rushed. So it left some kind of weird things in the actual writing, but for me it was the story. Even though I figured out who the murderer was very early, like, that's what I mean. Well, I guess the writing was poor in that sense, or unless the author wanted you to figure it out early. I figured out the murderer very early. I figured out his connection to the dead person, but I couldn't figure out quite why. But I figured it out before the end, before the book told you. So it was not like a surprise or a spoiler. But the idea of the people that Vera collected along the way, it was just too sweet. I fell in love with the character because she was a menace. She was an actual menace, but she just had such strong convictions, and she was just truly lonely, and she just wanted her life to be more exciting than it was, and it absolutely turned out to be more exciting than it was. And then you did feel for the murderer as well, which was something that doesn't usually happen in books. Like in Cozy Mysteries, well, this was the case too. The person that was murdered was just a horrendous person. He was just a horrible, horrible person. But I felt for the murderer more in this book because of who he was and also how he did the murder. So there were so many good aspects to the book that I decided to give it a high star rating. So I will be 50 this year. I am from a put the pot on the back of the stove all day generation. I remember before cell phones. I remember before internet. I definitely remember before iPhones. So I remember these things. And so I remember waiting for books to come out for a while, a year, maybe more, in the cozy mystery genre. When I first started reading cozy mysteries, I would ask the librarian how many, can I read? Because I wanted to read as many as I could in a row, but I also understood waiting for the books to come out. So now in this microwave, cell phone, TikTok generation, everything is a rush. Everything is instant, and everything is plastic. And so that's not necessarily a good thing all the time. Some things need to sit on the back of the stove. I am a crock pot versus Instapot person, even though I think they're both great. I think Instapot is great if you have a family, you have a busy life. I still prefer the crock pot. I live in an old apartment. I live in an old part of town. I have an old car. I like slow things. And so the reason I'm telling y'all this is because the author spoke about being rushed by the publishing company to put out another book. This is the same author of the Aunties series, Dial A for Aunties, which was a great book. Her second book came out soon after, and it wasn't good. I read it and I laughed out loud at some of the parts. I remember giving this same type of review about the second book in the Auntie series. I was like, I laughed out loud. It was a good book, but something just like the writing wasn't quite right. And it's the same thing. This author, I don't know if she's rushing herself or is a publishing company rushing her, but she stated that the publisher, she had like a deadline she had to meet with Vera Wang, and she had to get it done. So I feel like when authors in a series like this, that their first book is just like this beautiful passion project, and then it starts making all this money because capitalism, and then they rush the second one and it's garbage, but you're invested, so now you are purchasing it. And for me, I'm invested. I'm going to the library, not purchasing it, and I am reading it, and I'm just as excited as everyone else. However, when you read it, I would have much rather them cook it on the back of the stove. If I'm gonna eat something, I'm gonna read something, spend time, I'm like, slow that thing down, put that thing on the back of the stove. That's how I am. That's my little spiel this morning. I need to get into this building. I have quite a bit of work to do this morning, and I have a meeting I'm kind of excited about today. I hope it goes well. And yeah, we will catch up this evening when we are sitting down to hopefully get a full solid hour of reading Gethsemane Brown today. All right. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I feel better. I am getting better and better and better. The antidote for exhaustion is rest, which I need to get back to my systems that allow me just to be rested and not exhausted. Anyway, so today I want to tell you about a cozy mystery series that I read last year. I actually read the entire series. There were 5 books in total, which I think is the sweet spot with cozy mysteries. I am in the still reading the Stephanie Plum series by Janet Ivanovich. Whenever one of those books come out, I will always read it. It's just something I've been reading for decades, and I love it. Do I think it should end? Yeah, but until she ends it, I'm gonna keep reading it. Anyway, I read the Magical Bookshop series by Amanda Flower last year, the entire series. I adore this series so much. I can't remember if it was Amy. I don't remember the name of Amy's channel, but I'll link it in the description box below. Or if it was Spencer from Intentionally Bookish. They're both pretty much cozy mystery strictly channels. They do read other things, but they read a ton of cozy mysteries, and I get a lot of suggestions from them. So the Magical Bookshop series is, this road is a mess. It's worse after we had like the snow. Like it's a mess. Anyway, it starts off as your typical cozy mystery with a young white girl leaving a small town, then finding herself coming back to save the family business and to solve her mystery in the meantime, and fall in love with the policeman, the local cop. So it very much is your traditional cozy mystery, right? Which to me at this point is a little bit boring. So what sets this apart and what makes it so super cute is that how she gets there, how she gets back to her small town. So the series begins with her in a car. She's driving, and you can tell that she's driving tired and scared and just kind of don't know what's going on, because her grandmother has called her and she's on her deathbed and she's just frantic. So I believe the book is in upstate New York. I believe the setting is upstate New York. I know it's near Canada because they have a fall in their town, and I believe she was in school in Chicago. I read a lot of books, so sometimes the physical place gets fuzzy. But anyway, this place was very atmospheric. It was very descriptive, and it just seemed really beautiful and quaint. So she is driving, and then she gets to her grandmother's bookshop, And she's like, Grandma, where are you? Grandma, where are you? And Grandma comes out, she goes, Violet. So the main character's name is Violet, and Grandma's name is Daisy. And so Grandma has this little short gray bob, and she's a slim woman. She's very attractive. She wears scarves all the time, and Grandma looks absolutely fine. And she's like immediately like so confused, and she's like, Grandma, wait, I thought that you were dying. Like, you called me and you sounded like you on your deathbed. And then Grandma did the fake voice again. She's like, oh, I just had to do that to get you to come back to town. And I was like, wait. Oh no, Grandma is wild. This book is gonna be so much fun. And she was so upset. She didn't know what to do. But Grandma was like, well, you're here now, you might as well stay. And she was like, no, Grandma, I can't believe you did this, and da-da-da-da-da. And so she ended up staying for like a couple of days. No, she ended up staying like for one night because it was like too late for her to drive back to Chicago. And so in the process of her staying there one night, she met her grandma's kind of boyfriend, and she really liked him. He was so charming. He drives like a carriage, like a horse and buggy in town for the tourists. And so he was just really charming. He wore like this top hat and all this kind of stuff. And she, the next morning, the boyfriend is dead in the driveway. And so obviously she has to solve this case, but she has nothing to go on. And so the reason her grandmother called her back is to tell her that she is now the keeper of the bookstore. And she's like, I don't want this bookstore. I don't want this. There's no way I'm coming back to this town. Too many bad things happen to me in this town. I'm just not going to live here, Grandma. And plus, you're talking crazy because how is a tree magical? And so in this like scene, there is a crow in the bookshop, and the crow's name is Faulkner, and Faulkner can talk. She's like, Grandma, when did you get a crow? And when did crows start talking? Like, she was just all too much. And this series goes on quite like that. The tree is magical. It has been in their family for hundreds of years, and every woman that owns the, is this tree, and being the keeper of the tree is passed down from generation to generation. So Daisy's mother, which I can't remember her name, passed away from cancer. So Violet's mother passed away from cancer. So Grandma Daisy raised Violet, and so the tree was supposed to be passed down to her mother, but she passed away. And so Violet is initially like really upset with Grandma Daisy, and like Grandma Daisy's talking crazy, and she's also like, well, if the tree's so magical, why didn't it save my mother? And so this tree, what will happen is, okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this. So in each book, the way Daisy gets to solve the murders is from, like I said, like, what is the word I'm trying to use? So one book was about Henry David Thoreau. One book was about Edgar Allan Poe. One book was about someone else. So these well-known authors, it seems like not enough for like what I believe Edgar Allan Poe to be. Like, like what are these type of authors called? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, each of the 5 books had a very famous author that she would have to read their works, and the works would give her clues to who died, why they died, and how to solve the murder. And the tree would throw books at her. So what the tree would do, if someone would come into the bookstore and they just didn't know what they want to read, they would come in and they would go, I have no idea what I want to read. Then the tree would give them a book, and it would be the exact book that they wanted to read. So this tree she had to water this tree from the magical spring every single day. And once again, it, you know, folklore said that this spring, you know, had healing properties. And once again, Violet is like, well, it didn't heal my mom. Then when the murder happens, the first murder happens, she meets the sheriff. And he is Native American, and he's like the most beautiful man that she's absolutely ever seen. And she just is like, what in the world? Like, this is not even humanly possible. Like, how is this man so gorgeous? But in the small town, the reason she hates the small town is because something bad happened to her in her young adulthood. And then she was dating this guy, and he turned his back on her. The whole town turned their back on her until they actually got the truth about what happened. But they still, you know, she just still had a horrible time growing up in this town. So the moment she got a chance to get away, she got away. And so one thing I do not like about cozy mysteries, for some reason they continue to put love triangles in them. Like, well, why? It's so annoying to me. Anyway, so with this one, she had her boyfriend growing up, and then, like I said, he turned his back on her. So he's back in the picture now. He finds out that she's there, and grandma kind of wants her to get back with him, but she's like beyond not interested in him. Like, she's like, no, there's no way. He's proven exactly who he is. He has rich parents. He's like the mayor in town. His, you know, he has this wealthy family. They own a vineyard. And so he's trying to just like start up where everything left off. And she was like, are you serious? And the sheriff is kind of like interested in her too, but he's like, wait, do y'all have something going on? And so anyway, it goes through these 5 different situations, 5 different things. And once again, along the way, you collect a cast of characters. Grandma Days is a trip. Faulkner the crow is a trip, and Emerson is the cat, and Emerson is a trip. The animals are a trip. The tree be tripping. The tree a trip. This is the cutest cozy mystery series that I read. It had all of your, like I said, very traditional cozy mystery elements, like all of them. It's like Amanda Flower threw every single cozy mystery trope into this book, except she expanded it and made it magical and a little bit more real and cute. You know, there was just some really cute, fun things going on in this book, in these books. I even got my cousin to read them, and so she finished the series. I think I was probably on book 3 when I introduced the series to her. And then I saw her one day and she was like, oh my goodness, have you finished the series? I was like, no, I'm going a little slow because I have 1 book left. And I think that was like in November when we had 1 book left. I had 1 book left, and she was like, oh my gosh, the series does end. I was like, yeah, no, I'm just, you know. And she was like, you're gonna love the ending. You're gonna love the ending. You're gonna be okay with the ending. It's perfect. I was like, are you sure? She's like, I promise you, just read it. When you finish reading, call me, let me know. So when I read the last one, I was like, it was perfect. It was so sweet. It was just beyond perfect the way it ended. Amanda Flower did an incredible job on this series. So if you're looking for something a little sweet and something a little cute to read this year, definitely pick up the Magical Bookshop series by Amanda Flower. I didn't do it justice because I'm trying not to give spoilers away, just in case you do want to read it, but I think you would truly love it. And if you do, let me know, because this was just so cute. Anyway, we are at work and I am feeling a little bit like I need Starbucks this morning. We have 2 here on campus, so hopefully one of them will have the Impossible Sausage Sandwich, because I actually want food today too. So let's go in here and spend a good 20 bucks on Starbucks. Yeah, that's why they call it Starbucks, huh? Yeah, I literally just got that. Okay, have a good one. I'll catch up with you tonight when I get ready to read more of the Gethsemane Brown series. This is taking a long time. Good morning, beautiful. Happy Thursday. Tracy doesn't have any lipstick on. There's plenty in my purse. Probably all the lipstick I own is in my purse. Anyway, it's supposed to storm today, obviously. It's so windy outside. It's incredibly windy. It was very windy last night. On days like this, I always text my cousin who does my hair. I'm like, girl, thank you for sewing this wig down, because I almost got exposed out there. Anyway, since it's Thursday, I could think of no better series to talk about than the Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. Listen, one thing about me, I have been watching British comedies since I was in high school. Channel 10 here in Memphis is the public broadcasting station, and they would play at night during the week British television. They would play the TV show Chef with Lenny Henry, which was hysterical. Waiting for God. Also, Are You Being Served? Are You Being Served? Sometimes now I'll go and watch bootleg episodes of Are You Being Served on YouTube. I really am probably going to purchase some episodes of Are You Being Served through Amazon, because it's just my favorite British television show. So these are all very old, by the way. We've established how old I like things. Pull yourself together. Pull yourself together. There you go. Anyway, I found the Thursday Murder Club. It was a big to-do about it coming out. So many people are actually talking about it, but it's something that was talked about that actually appealed to me. We will not be doing any fantasy. I do not enjoy that. I don't even know what the hell is going on in fantasy. Anyway, I decided to pick up the Thursday Murder Club. That's the title of the first book. Elizabeth, Joyce, Ron, and Ibrahim make up the Thursday Murder Club. They are pensioners, retired, that live in a retirement village in the south of England, if I'm not mistaken. Every Thursday, they will meet in the jigsaw room to discuss an unsolved murder, you know. They invited two constables to come to their meeting one Thursday, and they actually had an open case, like a unsolved case that was in the area, in the town. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris, one of the constables, he actually may have worked on the case, because Donna was like kind of new to town. She was a new cop in town, and so Chris was like her, I guess, sergeant or whatever. And so they came, and the Thursday Murder Club was asking them all kinds of questions. So these four people have very different backgrounds, right? I don't know if the book has actually said that Elizabeth is an ex-MI5 operative, but if it hasn't said it, it has strongly alluded to Elizabeth having some serious spy ties. Like, she has some very interesting friends in her life. Like, she can call on any kind of rogue person at any time who owes her a favor. So they decide to investigate this cold case for real, in real life, not just in the jigsaw room. They decided that they wanted some answers with this situation, so they set about, guys, because they're old, they are often overlooked, and like, people just don't pay attention to them, and that is how they're able to get away with so much crap, y'all. You guys, these four are wild. If you've ever seen the TV show Waiting for God, this would definitely put you in the mind of four Tom and Dianas. Like, that's how wild they are. I wanted to give the first book 10 stars. Like, it was that good to me. The cool thing about Richard Osman is that he only puts out one of these books a year. So you had to wait a whole year to get the next book, and then you had to wait a whole year to get the next book, and a whole year to get the next book. So once again, because it's a cozy mystery, you collect a cast of characters along the way. Y'all, the things that they do to people, oh my goodness. They get entangled with a maniacal drug dealer who happens to be a woman. That woman is like, when I get out of jail, I'm gonna kill him. She just let everybody know, I'm gonna kill him. One of the Thursday Murder Club members. And so she's in jail. Ibrahim, who is a retired psychologist, befriends her, and they kind of come to an understanding. And Ibrahim's like, you're not gonna still kill Ron, are you? Like, no, we're friends now. You're my buddy. You can't just, kill Ron. And she was like, no, I'm still gonna kill him. Y'all can't even imagine the things that they do to people. I thoroughly enjoyed the first one. I still think The Man Who Died Twice may be my favorite one. But this last book, you guys, the last book was titled The Last Devil to Die. There is obviously tons of side stories because they're picking up so many characters along the way. You guys, I was so emotional in this last book because Elizabeth is the main character, and like I said, she's the one MPD out on the street this morning. She was the one who used to be, like I said, I believe she was an MI5 operative. She is like the strongest. She doesn't show much emotion. She has she's really kind of no nonsense. And she is married. And I can't give you anything away about the husband, but you grow. He pops in and out of the stories, and I just love him, I think, because I love Elizabeth and Elizabeth loves him. And so it's this weird kind of thing where these books feel real to you. That's how good the writing is. Let me break down the writing a little bit for you. So Richard Osman is an author, TV producer. This book truly feels like you're watching a TV show. So it's so vivid in the way you can see, sense, feel, and smell everything around. You can smell when Elizabeth is baking. Like, it's, what the heck is going on today? Wow. Oh, okay, I get it. Anyway, it's just that well written. This is one of the greatest series I've ever read. I adore this series so freaking much. And so this last book, y'all, it almost took me out. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, I'm not even gonna lie. I had to put this book down for a couple of days and come back to it because I was hurt. It was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed this series. I was looking up the other day, and he is not putting one out this year, I don't think. I think that's what he said. He's not going to put one out this year. Whenever the next one's supposed to come out, he's putting a pause on the series because he is writing a new series, which I will absolutely be reading. And I'm okay. That scared the crap out of me. I'm okay with him pausing the series so that thing can cook on the back of the stove, so it can be so good. Now, the very first book I got a 5-star to. The second book I gave a 5-star to. I think the third book I did 3.5, maybe 4. And then this last book, because I was so emotional, I gave 5 stars to. That's how much I love these series. This series is so flipping good that I am okay with waiting to get the next book, because I really want to see what he does with this new series, because I really, really enjoy him as an author. We made it to work. I left my house at 7:01. It is 7:17. It took me a while to get here. So I have another big meeting today. One of the cool things about my job is that it combines being administrative assistant with the convention work I did when I worked with the Owls. Y'all remember we worked with the Owls? So we have several doctors who are putting on different meetings, and the one meeting we had a few weeks ago had 50 attendees. This meeting that I have a meeting for today, I don't know how many attendees is going to be in that one, but that one is in March. So today we're just having a meeting to get everyone together on what stations they need to be at during this meeting. And then we're having another one in April. It only has 150 attendees. And then right now we don't know of any others that we're having between April and November, but the one in November is my doctor, which is in my PI, primary investigator. So that's the meeting I had the other day that I was telling you I hope it would go well, and it actually did. I really enjoyed that meeting. I learned a lot. I wasn't lost. That's what I was very excited about. I wasn't lost, but I also learned a new system that I've been seeing so much about called Asana. It's like a project management system, and I'm very interested in project management. So I do watch like some project manager YouTubers here. I also had learned a little bit about that system, and now I want to go deeper into the system now that I'm actually needing to use it. So that's very cool. And so yeah, it's gonna be a good day. I don't think it's gonna be too busy. I got most of my to-do list done yesterday. I have a few nagging things that I have to do today. And why does my PI not tell me which cost center to use when I'm booking things for him? Like, one of the biggest things I do at work is booking travel, and by booking travel I mean I'm telling someone else to book the flight and hotel. Yeah, I love my job. But anyway, I have to go fix some things today because he's like, oh, I didn't tell you, did I? No, I didn't even know that existed. I think they forget that I've only been there since October. That's all I've been here. It's just since October. It's just February 22nd today. Okay, I'm gonna go over here and fix some things. Anyway, I will catch up with you tonight when I read some more of Gethsemane Brown. Have I broken page 100 yet? No, I haven't. Okay, we have 3 more days to read this book. Okay.